administration, headed by the mayor, that run the business of the city. We spend $75 million. I can't even imagine having $100,000, let alone $75 million. So she is very responsive there to the people. And I found that she is very interested in doing what we all say the right thing. The council is a watchdog, if you wish, and sometimes I think we have some bad but pit bulls in there, because we hop on an issue and we tear it up. And then yet we come back with an issue that we favor, i.e. say the vision study. You know, we had a resolution that was presented and not even given out to the city clerk, and not even given out to all of the council people. And it was rammed through to give another $16,000 in the midst of the city laying off people. I mean, I thought it was ridiculous, and I let our president know how I felt and asked her, don't do that damn thing anymore. Let's discuss items so that we all can get our points in and do it. And I think if the council worked that way, we would be a better council. And I pledge here to continue working with the mayor, working with my colleagues on the council to make sure that the business of city of Plainfield is done as near perfect as we can get it. Thank you. And I'm 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
All right. I'm going to ask one last question of all of the candidates, and then we're going to move to a closing. And I have a couple of questions that I'm going to try and give to you so that you can kind of incorporate them together. They kind of work together. All right. One of the questions that came up is, are you in favor of the shot spotter technology? And then also, in a desire to better stabilize the taxes in the city of Plainfield, how would you go about accomplishing this? And then the last question deals with salaries in Plainfield being one of the biggest costs, yet we talk about needing the staff for police and fire. How would you stabilize taxes and keep these entities alive? All right, so they're all around taxes, except for there's the shot spotter and police and fire that's holding over. Right. I believe that I'm up here.
Okay, well, I already talked about shot spotter, and my concerns about it are the cost, not only the purchase cost of $1 million, but the ongoing maintenance cost and how much of an impact it will really have. I don't think that the city should pay for it out of taxpayer dollars, but there may be other sources of grant money, for example. I think the city should keep its eyes open in terms of financing this, because there are two sides to every story, and if the shot spotter is a tool that the police really feel they need and could be helpful, we need to get it some way then. Stabilizing taxes and the high cost of employment. We're a city, and we provide a lot of services for the citizens. The government provides a lot of services, so it needs a lot of staff. We need to be wise with our money. We need to negotiate hard with unions, for one thing, to keep down the cost of wages in the city. But we also need to be prudent with how we spend our money in other ways. Now, I noticed in the proposed budget for the upcoming year, the amount allocated for the 4th of July parade was raised from $30,000. I don't know why a parade should cost $30,000, but it's going up to The request now is for $45,000. That's not money well spent. So we need to examine all aspects of the budget. We also need to implement a system that's been discussed in council a number of times, which is a payroll monitoring system, for lack of a better term, where it's done electronically so that all city employees arrive on time and work their full day. It's not fair to those employees who work very hard to have people on the payroll who are not doing their share. And I think implementing that, now that's probably a $150,000 system, but I think in that case it would be money well spent.
Thank you. On the shot spotter, I've done a little research on that, and I've talked with Mayor Bowser in East Orange, who has it. First of all, he said it didn't cost the city anything because of grants. And I'm pleased to see that the mayor and her administration has dropped a proposal to fund the shot spotter via bonds and to look at it closer. It's a reactionary system. And, you know, the initial cost of advertising the bonds was like $100,000 a year over 10 years. And we had another $150,000 to maintain the darn thing. So we had 30 shots when it was introduced. That would mean $8,000 per shot to know that somebody shot. I mean, that doesn't make too much sense to me. So I will await further to see if this technology develop further and that it can get there to prevent the shots, not react to them after they've happened. I think we got to do some of the things with the shooters. And one, as I said, get some jobs. You know, I have a friend that went to medical training for medical assistant. 6 weeks, first of all, which probably didn't teach her a darn thing. Secondly, she got out and she's been looking for a darn job for the last 9 months. My proposal would be you get the training and you get a job. That the government support until the industry decides that they're going to allow some of us, cities like Plainfield, participate. As an example, if Verizon or AT&T would bring some of the people here to even answer the darn old telephone. When you call, you get someone in India, which I'm not very interested in how they live. I'm interested in Plainfield. To stabilize the taxes, unfortunately, we got inflation and salaries go up and cost of goods go up. We just have to watch it very closely. When I was managing the budget, the last 3 months of the budget, which we approved and my board approved, I had requisition power to cancel requisition. And the salary part is a big cost of what we have to do, but I'm told we need the people. We need the 130-some policemen. We need to buy people. One of the things I think in the fire department, we have 3 fire stations. I'm going to recommend that we do a study to see if we really in this time need 3 fire stations. So those are some of the things that I'm thinking.
Regarding the shot spotter, I guess it's something I said maybe before I came in, but I agree with, you know, actually a number of people I've spoken to, as well as my colleagues here on the panel, that it's a reactive technology, and it seems like it's very expensive. I would, you know, be interested in looking at this technology or other technologies similar to it, but only if we're doing a study looking, you know, and trying to find grant funding if we decided as a city to move forward. I like Bill's analysis of $8,000 per shot. You know, there was someone attacked, I think, stabbed or using machete, so we don't have machete technology. So, you know, what does that do for other forms of crime? In terms of stabilizing taxes, again, economic development is very important. And also belt tightening. I think that the city is right to look at furloughs rather than, just, pure layoffs. And I think that we need to look also at attrition. We're in the 21st century. Does every single job need to be kept? There are some individuals who could possibly be encouraged to take a retirement package, just as they do in the corporate world. You give someone a package and they leave, and you don't fill that slot. In terms of the unions, I'm thinking that, there may have to be some give backs, or at the very least, have salary freezes, including public safety. President Obama has said we all must share the sacrifice and share the pain. Having raises go up, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6%, when it's all said and done, it's just, it may not be feasible in this economy. So I think that everyone would have to share. I work for Essex County, and we're not getting a raise. I mean, it's just a matter of, what you are going to give in order to make the community as a whole better. If there are people who are unemployed, it sort of makes you feel bad that, you're now trying to negotiate hard for a raise when you just don't have the money. So I really think that the union contracts that will be coming up, we need to work really hard at them, really encourage the administration to, be strong and really make a convincing plea to everyone not to, to share the sacrifice.
What we want to do is we want to move to closing arguments, and as we talk about closing arguments, closing statements, excuse me. What I want you to do is just think about the last question that I had, and I didn't ask this one. It was sort of covered in a question before, but somebody did direct it up here, so I do want to just give you a chance to kind of work it into your closing statement. What do you see as the biggest problem in Plainfield, and how will you deal with it? I believe that we started on this end when we had the opening statement, so we're going to start now at the farm.
How long is it?
5 minutes. 5
So
minutes.
the part that you wanted to work into the closing statement was what's the number one issue?
What do you see as the biggest problem in Plainfield, and how will you deal with it?
Let's see. That's really the one thing. I would say that, the reason that I moved to Plainfield was because I thought, Plainfield seemed to be like a very open and loving community. I still believe that it is. As I've been out canvassing, especially when I was canvassing in the spring, for during primary season, I met, and I've done this for a number of years now. I meet great people all around town, and that's what makes me want to stay here, and that actually was part of the impetus for me to want to serve on the council. So I would say that the biggest single issue that I would state would be that everyone in Plainfield needs to know that everyone else in Plainfield supports them, and that we all need to be supportive of one another. I think that, I don't want to get too corny and talk about love, but really, I think that having compassion and, really looking at ourselves as one people. There's a famous speech by Frances Harper called "We Are All Bound Up Together" that she delivered in the aftermath of the Civil War. And it was, the fact that although African Americans had, been emancipated, a war was fought over slavery and won, what do we do in the aftermath? How do we bring all these strands together to become one nation once again? And so the speech, We Are All Bound Up Together, really focuses on, strategies and actions necessary. Martin Luther King said